Everybody ready to start? I hereby call the January 12, 2015 special meeting of the Zoning Board of Adjustment to order at 1:30 p.m. and I do establish that a quorum is present. I'd like to ask you to silence or turn off your cell phones. The purpose of this special meeting is to provide clarification on the vote of the Zoning Board of Adjustments at its regular meeting held at 1:30 p.m. on Monday, January the 5th, 2015, on consideration of the adoption of a resolution by the City of San Angelo Zoning Board of Adjustment amending the bylaws of the ZBA, more specifically by amending Article 5 entitled Conduct of Meetings, more particularly by amending Section 5.10 in order to allow the orderly submission and reasonable opportunity for board members' review of documents prior to an appeal hearing, providing that the board may act only upon evidence properly admitted into the record and providing for an effective date of this bylaw amendment. For everyone's recollection, at the end of that public hearing, the board voted 3-2 to approve the above stated resolution. It was incorrectly stated by staff, however, that a supermajority vote was required in order to approve the item. As a result, it was declared by the board that the resolution did not pass. Upon further examination of the bylaws of the Zoning Board of Adjustment, Section 13.01 states that these rules may be amended at any regular or special called meeting of the Zoning Board of Adjustment by a majority of a quorum of board members present, provided that such amendment will not be contrary to the requirement or limitation set by the state law or city ordinance, and notice of said proposed amendment is furnished to each member in writing at least 7 days prior to said meeting. So based on the requirements set forth in Article 13, since the board's vote on the item was 3-2 in favor of approving the resolution, and the amendment was not contrary to any requirement or limitation set by state law or city ordinance, and because each board member received notice of the proposed amendment at least 7 days prior to the meeting, the motion was passed and the item was therefore approved. Staff, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I would like to make the parties of interest aware of the fact that subsequent to this meeting, as per the adopted resolution, pertinent items to be filed can be done at our office. We will collect the pertinent copies of the materials and distribute it accordingly.
Okay, and you say submitted at your office. I know that some have an urgency here, so you're talking about like immediately once this meeting's over, meet you at your office, submit those items, and then the board will receive them?
That's correct.
Okay. Does anyone on the board have anything they wish to add or questions they'd like to ask of the staff? All right, if there are no questions or comments to the board, I will call this matter to be sufficiently clarified. No additional board action is required. The next regular meeting of the Zoning Board of Adjustments is scheduled to begin at 1:30 p.m. on Monday, February the 2nd, 2015 in the McNeese Convention Center. This meeting is ready for adjournment. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, may I respond to the information put out by the staff being part of this case, having to do with the package that I've got ready to file here today and give you a copy.
So the question you have is just for staff? We don't want to have public comment. We'll just beat the air for nothing. We've done that already several meetings. If it's going to have anything to do with anything other than this particular item, we don't want to discuss it.
I'm just asking, in addition to it, in respect to the item of the bylaw changes just made, is going ahead and making my filing right here and now. Say y'all have to go down there, get out in the code, file a copy with them. I'll give Mr. Sam out on the copy and give you your copies when y'all go home.
Mr. Howard, is that acceptable to you?
Sir, we're going to follow a standard process, allowing everyone to come to the office. We're going to date timestamp that. make sure we have the appropriate copies and distribute accordingly. So we want to be consistent in our application of receiving materials. So we won't accept those at this time. We will allow an opportunity prior to the hearing to get those materials and make sure they're distributed as per the ordinance.
How will that material be distributed? Hard copies mailed to us? Should we come and pick them up? Will they be hand-delivered, emailed, or what?
Sir, we will be providing both electronic copies and hard copies to the parties of interest in addition to the board members.
So we can expect to have that information today?
Yes, sir. If it's submitted today at our office, we will be distributing those shortly thereafter.
Is that fast enough for you, Mr. Wardlaw?
Yes, sir, I'll be right down there as soon as this meeting adjourns.
Thank you.
Okay, and just for clarification, there are a lot of parties of interest, there could be a lot of documents. There may be some photocopying, there's some scanning required, et cetera, so it'd be best efforts for, for today. But
Well, let me ask city
not
staff.
knowing
Oh,
how-
no,
what
wait a
the
minute, wait a
volume
minute, wait a
is.
minute. Let me ask city staff this. Mr. Wardlaw has been very adamant about wanting to get his information to us. So let's make sure that he's first on the list and we get his.
So we have no problem with getting the information distributed today,
Okay.
as I stated previously.
I might also add that I think the way the ordinance states is that the people submitting the information have to submit copies for that. So as long as those are submitted as it's stated in the ordinance, we'll have no problem distributing those because there won't be any copying or those things that'll be needed for that is submitted like it's stated.
Okay. Well, it's important to Mr. Wardlaw that we get it immediately, so as long as that happens, we're good with it. Is there anything else from the board? If not, I'll entertain the motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn?
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Turner, seconded by Mr. John to adjourn. All those in favor? Meeting adjourned.